Today on Green Country People and Places. You're saving lives and protecting people with what you do.
I get to work with the best people on earth, and we collectively say that we get to work for the best people on earth.
You know, when we're traveling the roads of Oklahoma, we never quite know what we're going to come across. And today, we came across this.
Ground control to Major Tom.
The billy goat said to the billy goat king, come along with me and we'll swim.
Like I said, goat milk is good for you inside and out.
The billy goat boogie.
Oklahoma's green country. It's full of unique places and interesting people. So you milk a goat as opposed to a cow.
Give me your wallet.
So come along with us and enjoy the ride. We are at Tactical Electronics with Ben Kimbrough, and this is a little bit different. This is not a place you're going to come tour, but it's so neat we couldn't help but bring you along with us so we could tour and show it to you.
Our mission's quite simple. It's very involved, but the mission's simple. We provide equipment, training, and engineering services to protect those who protect us. So in stating, we provide the best equipment we can to military and law enforcement customers all over the world and as well domestically. We build a lot of sensors, cameras, diagnostic tools that can be used in special enforcement and in the battle space to support warfighter mission to making it a lot safer than what it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's on routine maintenance right now, but this behind us is your baby, your helicopter?
This is our vertical takeoff and landing rotorcraft. This is Raptor, which is a UAS is something we've been working in for almost 6 years.
UAS?
Unmanned aerial systems. So
Okay.
that sort of is the blanket terminology for all things pilotless that are being integrated into our national airspace for a variety of tasks. Raptor, for an example, we kind of treat like a mule. Anything that you would want to put up to observe, to sample air, to move equipment, radios, first aid or self-aid equipment around, we can just load it up on there and move it as far as 2 miles away. We've had it up to 12,000 feet. And we've got a 10-pound working payload, so it'll do quite a bit of utility for us.
Well, I was going to say, this is not your RC helicopter you go out and buy for a couple $100.
This is just a little more involved than that.
Yeah.
We've got an onboard autopilot that's making 500 flight corrections per second. This is subject to FAA commercial guidances rather than what you're referring to, which is the hobby helicopters that my kids can fly, but I can't. Our 74 employees will be representative of a very wide, diverse set of backgrounds. Mechanical and electrical engineers. We've got CNC machinists, mechanical engineers, because we're going to manufacture everything for our equipment side here in-house, here in Oklahoma. We like the CNC process because it allows us to create equipment that, while still being lightweight, can be used in abusive environments, which is where it's going to go every time. So this eventually is going to continue to get whittled out and integrated with a screen, and it'll become our wrist monitor.
Oh, Dick Tracy, true to life.
So how a block of HDPE becomes a wrist monitor. These that are being produced in here right now will actually become a helmet camera. So this is something that's going to mount to a SWAT team member or a Special Forces operator's helmet.
I can already see in this, there's a channel for batteries.
Battery tubes, we'll machine the battery door. We've got forward-looking LEDs, a microphone, some controller buttons, so it can be used in very, very low light, which is oftentimes where our clients work.
You got some smart people working here, don't you?
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I say all the time, tactical electronics is in fact its people. If I've ever looked good a day of my life, it's not me. It's because of their efforts.
Now this is what we saw being machined over on the CNC machines, correct?
Yes, sir. That is our wrist monitor, which is one of a series of monitoring options that is going to allow an operator to receive video from a variety of sensors.
And what we're seeing on here is this camera.
This pole camera.
Neat.
So this gives a tactical operator the ability to look into places, around places, on top of places that it would be out of reach or preferable not to expose your body to.
Okay. Oh, wow. Is this the way you check in on your employees to see if they're working?
No. There's no spying around here.
It's cool.
The assumption is that there's cameras on all the time, so everybody's pretty well behaved in that respect.
Well, it's funny because I'm sitting here and you have a ping pong table.
Ping pong tables, shuffleboard, go-karts.
Although you just tell me off camera, it's called table tennis around here.
There's an important distinction there. We're as a company pretty obsessed with table tennis, and it's pretty representative of our corporate culture. A very strong work ethic and a lot of hours put to that, but a very strong play ethic as well. It's a very fun place to work.
Behind you, you have a collection of household items, but these are really dangerous items, aren't they?
They could be. They could be. These are representative of several of the types of IEDs, improvised explosive devices, that have been employed, unfortunately, pretty successfully against us in Iraq and Afghanistan and a few other parts of the world. With so much of our focus being on explosive ordnance disposal, these are practical training items. This is not something you would become good at by reading a book. Obviously there are some classroom components to it, but quite a lot of it requires a hands-on approach to render safe.
And you do training, physical hands-on training with the military, with SWAT teams, with people who do these sorts of things.
Yes, we do, all over the world. As far away as Singapore and the Philippines, quite a lot of training with coalition forces, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And then obviously just about every municipal, county, state, and federal agency here in the United States.
And you have your own facilities too, where you set up real world situations and put them through the ringer basically, and it helps you out too, right?
Absolutely. The feedback that we gain from that in terms of guiding our business is invaluable. That lets us know exactly what the customer needs. And in that respect, we're uniquely privileged to have customers that simply will tell us exactly what they want.
Okay, you got me on this one.
This is as a result of a request from Navy Special Warfare almost 7 years ago, asking that we develop sensors, camera mounts, for military working dogs. So this camera that you're seeing is a camera that would mount to the back of a military canine and provide low light, black and white image, video and audio recording. And then if the dog goes under an obstruction, the mast bends down and doesn't break while it's in use.
And so it goes on a harness pack and really doesn't bother the dog at all.
No, they lock them down when they're skydiving with the dogs. They get on the ground, they deploy the mast, turn the camera on.
when they're skydiving with the dogs?
Which begs the question, do dogs like jumping out of planes? And I'm told yes, they love it. So they don't have any of the irrational fears about flying that we do. So
I'm not going to try with my dog. I don't think
nor mine.
So you have some more toys behind you too. Are these all video related?
Handheld, yes, absolutely. Handheld thermals.
What's important about a handheld thermal?
Well, thermal cameras are going to allow military law enforcement to see the heat register of an item. So if we were scanning a building, a dark room or a field, and there were occupants in the room or in the field, there was a fugitive on that thermal, he's going to show up very, very bright. Some different types of pole cameras. This is our under-door camera.
Whoa, that's cool.
So this insertion panel goes under the door, and again with video on the wrist monitor or handheld monitor allows an inspecting team to see forward, and then as well with this camera to look back at the back side of the door.
In case there's ordnance on it. Okay. Wow, the optics and engineering, that is incredible to do it in such a tight space.
Pretty amazing. We're here in our engineering group, which is well and truly where innovation takes place. This is where the magic of advancing warfighter and special enforcement safety takes place. And as you can see, that's where all the smart people are. There's mechanical engineers up here, software code writers, mechanical and electrical. There's so many different disciplines represented in our engineering group.
You're really kind of one of the best kept secrets around here, because you're doing something that I think if you asked even people who are 5 blocks away, they would have no idea you're here doing this. And the service you're providing is incredible. We have to thank you for that, because I mean, you're saving lives and protecting people with what you do.
And it is down to every individual employee's pleasure and honor to be able to do that. I say a lot of times that I get to work with the best people on earth, and we collectively say that we get to work for the best people on earth.
You know, when we're traveling the roads of Oklahoma, we never quite know what we're going to come across. And today, we came across this.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom.
The Winganon space capsule. Although it looks like NASA might have lost part of a spaceship, it's not. It's the back of a cement truck that's been here for over 50 years. According to its own Facebook page, the mixer wrecked when the Winganon Bridge was being built in 1959. The cement hardened and the truck was hauled away, but the mixer was abandoned due to the weight. It became a local landmark and roadside attraction. Over the years, the locals have painted it many times, done interesting things to it. It's been graffitied. It's also been made nice. But the latest iteration is a NASA space capsule. So if you want to save yourself a trip to Cape Canaveral, come on by to Winganon. How do I get down?
Am I sitting in a tin can? Far above the world. Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do.
I raise goats and llamas.
Yeah.
I raise milk goats. I have 7 nannies this year that are doing about a month. So I will more than double my herd here real quick, and then I'll start milking again.
So you milk a goat, so As opposed to a cow, it's a little more dexterous, right?
Well, not that much difference, except there's only 2 spigots instead of 4.
Oh, okay. I
That's
like
the
that.
main difference, and I use the same type of milker. I have upgraded. I do have an electric milker.
Oh, wow.
So I don't have to do it by hand.
You're styling.
Right, right. If I'm milking 3 goats or less, I milk by hand because it's quicker than washing up all my equipment.
Well, I imagine they're a little friendlier, too, than a cranky cow in the morning, probably.
Yes, they are, and they have their milk stand. They jump up on, so I can sit down and milk, and they're really gentle creatures. What I'm going to do here is make a batch of soap,
Really?
and it's the old-fashioned lye soap, like our ancestors made.
Okay.
But I substitute in the goat milk instead of water. Goat milk is good for you inside and out. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals that are really good for your skin.
Yeah.
It's a self-moisturizer.
Neat.
So it is really good for you.
You look like you're ready for battle. I thought we were making soap.
Well, you have to be real careful when you're working with some of the things that you need to make soap.
Okay.
One of the main questions I get is, does your soap have lye in it?
Yeah.
My answer to that is yes. All soap have lye in it. No matter what the label says, they might call it by a different name, but all soaps have lye in it. So in order to protect myself, I also keep some vinegar under the sink, so if I happen to get it on my skin, I can use the vinegar to neutralize the...
Okay.
And-
So where do we start?
Okay, well, we start here. I have the goat milk, and I've measured it out, and you can see it kind of looks like a slushy.
So it's frozen.
It's frozen. The reason to do that is lye heats up the milk.
Oh, okay. And the lye, this is the final product right here, this piece of soap.
Uh-huh.
So explain to me this. So you're putting something into the soap that you have to wear gloves for. Why don't you have to wear gloves for it when you use the soap? I mean, how did
Because it goes through a process called soapification.
you made
and-
that up.
No, I didn't. You can Google it.
Soapification, okay.
And you can see that the ice crystals are starting to melt.
Uh-huh. Looks a little bit like melted ice cream now.
Uh-huh. Oh, and I also make ice cream
Ooh.
with my goat milk.
Well, since it's snowing today, I don't know if I want any, but this sounds good.
Well, I make it with fresh milk. I make the soap with frozen milk just because of the heat of the lye. And I've tried making ice cream out of the frozen milk, and it's not as good.
Yeah.
So you can see that's all melted now.
Uh-huh.
Then I add honey, and I get local
Yeah.
raw honey.
And that really wants to pour out on a cold
Yeah,
day.
cold day. I didn't heat it up too much in here this morning.
Well, I appreciate you having the heater on a little bit for
Yeah.
us. That's good.
And you can see it's starting to melt, and notice how it's changing color.
Tiny bubble in the wine. Make me happy. Make me feel fine.
If you'll look at my ready-made soaps, you'll see they're all different shades.
Oh, okay.
A lot of that depends on the heat of the lye mixture. Some of it on what I put in it for fragrance. Vanilla will turn it dark.
Oh, neat.
And the reason for starting out with ice crystals, if you use just refrigerated milk, it will turn almost black.
Ew.
So it's ugly soap.
Yeah, that didn't sound too good.
Although I did sell some ugly soap to a girl because she wanted to get it for her brother. She said it was perfect to give him ugly soap. The next step is to add lard.
Lard.
And I buy lard from the grocery store in 20-pound tubs.
Okay.
So my
They see you coming.
my soap is made out of things you can get at the grocery store, things that are ready available. So
Okay.
I don't use all of the oils that you can make soap out of.
So this is all heated up and melted, or?
This is melted. I check it, the temperature, and both of them should be around 90 to 95 degrees.
Okay.
And one can be up to 100, the other 80, and it'll still work. Some soap people will tell you that's not true. And this is set up a little more, so let's hope this works.
Well, yeah, us being here, we always kind of mess up the process sometimes.
I've learned a lot about making soap. When I first started, I was very conscious of the temperature and all that. I've made it long enough. I made 48 batches last year.
How many bars are in a batch?
Oh, let's see. About 18, close to 40.
Wow.
And that's 2 different sizes. You have the large bar there.
That's a lot of keeping clean.
Yeah, I make a small bar too.
I gotta ask a silly question. Is this stuff like food safe? Is it edible?
No,
Okay, just check it.
it tastes like soap. I had a little girl take a bite of
Yeah.
one because it looked like a pumpkin and it smelled like cinnamon apple. It tasted like soap. Okay,
Yeah.
what I'm adding
Thank
now.
you for saving me.
What I'm adding now is glycerin.
Okay.
On a lot of your commercial soaps, they strip the glycerin out because they can sell that product for more money.
Oh.
And glycerin is a good moisturizer. So I add glycerin to mine and keep everything in. This is just regular 20 Mule Team Borax.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
You can still get it at the grocery stores. And I add a little bit of that. This is a low sudsing soap. You don't
Okay.
need bubbles to get clean. Okay, now what I have to do is mix it. I can mix it by hand, but it'll take about 20 minutes. I
Okay.
can mix it with this handy little stick blender and it'll take less than 5.
I like that.
So I like the speed of it and
Yeah.
it works really well. So what I do is just put the blender in. It's just got a switch you have to hold down on. And we mix it.
So is this to infuse air in the soap, or what does it do?
And just to mix everything together.
Oh, okay.
Because it has to be a certain consistency. And this is working real fast today because of the cool weather.
That's good.
Because you want it to trace. And you can see when I pick it up, see the little designs it makes?
Oh, it reminds me a little bit of pancake batter.
Right, exactly.
The billy goat said to the billy goat king, come along with me and we'll sway and swing to the billy goat boogie. The billy goat boogie. Everybody's doing the billy goat boogie now.
Okay, now we're going to pour this in the mold so we'll have this neat little soap shape.
Cool. Did you have these made?
I bought them like this.
So there's a market for goat milk labeled soap,
Yes,
whatever you call it, molds.
molds, yeah.
That's so neat. It looks like vanilla pudding. And like you said, it's not tasty though.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can remove my goggles now. I can remove my gloves now. And what I do, I've got, it's a real fancy operation here. I put this here. This is my stand. Can you hand me that tray right there?
Sure.
This goes on top. Sometimes I have a bigger batch of soap and I'll have another layer.
Right.
But what I need to do now is cover this up to keep it warm. So I just
Okay.
use the old blankets and I'll cover this up.
So the idea is to slow the curing process?
Right, it's to keep it warm because especially out here, but even if it was in the house where it was 75, 80 degrees, I would still cover it.
Okay.
And we wait 24 hours.
So what's under here?
One I did yesterday, so this is 24 hours old.
Oh, cool.
See how it's all set up?
Uh-huh.
Okay, the next step is to cut. Okay, what I'm gonna do is turn this out.
Oh, neat.
So here's my bars. I found out these work really well. They're to put on
Spackle or
spackle and that kind of
drywall
stuff. But I just cut them.
Oh, and it gives you a pretty clean edge. Wow.
Then I lay it out here
Uh-huh.
to dry.
So is there any prep work you do on the edges or anything? Because it's clean cut, isn't it?
It's homemade.
Oh, good point.
So
Little
I-
flaws make it homemade.
Right.
If it was perfect, it'd be manufactured.
Yeah, people know. I don't have to put handmade on my soap. They know it's handmade by looking at it.
Well, and you sell other things in chocolates?
No, those are called llama beans, not to be confused with lima beans. Those are the llama droppings.
I'm glad the little kid didn't see these first
Right,
instead of the soap that she tasted.
They
So-
look like chocolate. They taste like what they are. I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't.
This
tried
just, gets a lot of questions in my mind, but I guess the obvious one is going to be, what's the purpose for selling these?
It's a great fertilizer.
Okay, I'm not even talking about the
Yeah.
collection
Right.
process.
It's not a hot fertilizer, and I make a tea out of it. That's what's in here.
What? Oh, the tea's for the
Tea for
ground.
the plants.
Okay,
Your plants,
You
yes.
were just worrying me right there. And so you have, are these like chapsticks?
Yes.
And
Lip balm,
doggy shampoo?
doggy shampoo,
And then you have
lotion bars.
lotion bars and things like that? Okay. Women must love
Oh,
you.
yeah.
My wife is probably going to expect me to bring home a bunch of stuff today.
And then on the end there is goat milk lotion.
Oh, this stuff?
It is great.
Wow.
You can open up that little jar and
This
you can
jar?
see what it looks like.
And so this is like for your skin and stuff.
Real nice and creamy.
Wow, that is soft.
Mm-hmm.
I feel much better right now myself.
Like I said, goat milk is good for you inside and out.
Everybody's doing the Billy Goat